Alright, here we are looking at my rotor for my '07 Chevy HHR, which is the same suspension carriage as the Cobalt and the Pontiac equivalent. As you can see, I'm doing a brake job and my rotor is seized onto the hub. And I've looked for a few videos online. I see where people use some jacking bolts or large hammers, and in this application I don't feel like it's the best choice because none of that is good for your steering system or your drivetrain or your wheel bearing. So here, looking at the new rotor, you can see that right in here is where the hub plate with the studs fits right in there. The rotor slides right over the plate and the studs pop through the holes. And what happens is this is deeper than the hub plate. So when the rotor starts to rust, it expands and bubbles and swells up and creates a cleat right behind the plate right here. And this is what anchors it on. So other videos are going to show you that this surface is rusted to the hub, which is true. But in this case, this swelling is what holds, it kind of grabs a cleat and it won't let this rotor slide off of that plate. So I decided I'm going to cut it and we'll see how it goes in the next section. Alright, let's see how we did now. First I took a Sawzall and I cut 2 reliefs on each side right down to the outside of the hub. Look at your new hub and you see how thick the metal is here and how it looks in the back. And when you cut this down, you can see the color change a little bit. It gets darker. You'll be bright silver shiny, and then you get to the void, it gets dark. And then I took the die grinder and I cut around the outside. Well, I took the side grinder with the cutoff wheel, 0.45 thousandths, and I cut all the way around. Now when I cut it, I did see that this plate loosened up, which is part of the problem. It's one of these made for TV things. Now let's see how we did if the plates will break. Look at that. And there's that lip. There's that lip that was causing us all the trouble. Right in the back there. So, that's how I got it off. You need to be very careful not to damage your plate when you're cutting with the die grinder. You can see I got a shiny spot. That's no big deal. But I did not nick it, cut it. Don't cut your stud in half. Don't cut your back plate. And just keep an eye on what you're cutting. Go a little at a time. And of course I had earplugs, dust mask, safety glasses, and a face shield on for safety, because you didn't save any money if you end up in the hospital. Good luck. So this is the angle and how I got the grinding wheel in to separate the plate from the rotor itself. Be careful not to go too deep. And this is the angle I used to use the Sawzall. I started the cut with the 0.45 wheel, and then when I maxed that out, I finished it with the Sawzall, which went pretty quick. Just be careful not to cut anything behind the wheel. If you'll notice, the brake line is out of the way. I'm on the front of the vehicle, which there's plenty of room to get the blade in. And if you watch from the back, you can see how deep you are. You can see where you cut to the inside of the rotor and where it reaches the outside of the hub. So you'll know where to stop so you don't do damage to parts you need to use again.